Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ. Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ. Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ. I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ. Only the really, I hate to say this, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ. Only the really, I hate to say this,
a small piece of the universe. The world is actually a small piece of the world. The world is actually a small piece of the universe. A small piece of the universe. Actually, a small piece of the universe. The world is actually a small piece of the universe. The world is a piece of the universe. Small piece of the universe. Small piece of the universe. The world is actually a small. The world is actually a small piece of the universe, right?
only the really.
The world is actually a small piece of the universe. The world is actually a small piece of the world is a piece of the universe. Small 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 piece of the universe. The world is actually a small piece of the universe, right? Small piece of the universe. Small piece of the universe. The world is actually a small piece of the universe.
Get your work straight, Jack. Get your work straight, Jack. Get your work straight, Jack. Get your work straight. Get your work straight. Get your work straight. Get your work straight. Get your work straight, Jack.
The world is actually a small piece of the universe, right? The world is actually a small piece of the universe, right? The world is actually a small piece of the universe, right? The world is actually a small piece of the universe, right? The world is actually a small piece of the universe, right? The world is actually a small piece of the universe, right? The world is actually a small piece of the universe, right? The world is actually a piece of the universe, right? The world is actually a small piece of the universe, right? The world is actually a small piece of the universe, right? The world is actually a piece of the universe, right? The world is actually a small piece of the universe, right? The world is actually a small piece of the universe, right? The world is actually a piece of the universe, right? The world is actually a small piece of the universe, right? The world is actually a small piece of the universe, right? The world is actually a piece of the universe, right?
$7 million for reef fish management, $25 million to combat Asian carp, $2.5 million to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico.
Tweet. That was an opinion of somebody.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree.
Force the vote, sure, was a failure. Force the vote, sure, was a failure.
Early in the morning, they went to the table with the black robe, the black shield, and they pulled out the vote. With the black robe, the black shield, and they pulled out the vote. With the black robe, the black shield, and they pulled out the vote. Early in the morning, they went to the table, and they pulled out the vote, the black shield, and they pulled out the vote. Those votes were put there a number of hours before. Early in the morning, they went and they pulled out the table, the black shield, they pulled out the vote. The votes were put there a number of hours. Those votes were put there a number of hours. They pulled out early in the morning, they went to the black shield table, they pulled out the black shield. Early in the morning, they went to the table with the black robe, the black shield, and they pulled out the vote. Early in the morning, they went to the table with the black robe and the black shield, and they pulled out the vote. Early in the morning, they went to the table with the black robe and the black shield, and they pulled out the vote. There a number of hours went to early in the morning, they went to the black table, the black robe, shield, and pulled out the shield, there a number of hours. There a number of hours early in the morning, they went to the black table, the black robe, the black shield, and they pulled out the vote. There a number of hours early in the morning, they went to the black table, the black robe, the black shield, and pulled out the vote. There a number of hours before. Early in the morning, they went to the black table, the black robe, the black shield, and they pulled out the vote. Those votes were put there a number.
They weren't coming because they couldn't get in. They're coming all over the place. Everybody comes in, your grandmother, your... They weren't coming because they couldn't get in. They're coming all over the place. They weren't coming because they couldn't get in. Once they think they can get in, they're coming, and they are coming at levels that you haven't even seen yet. They're coming all over the place.
Hello users, and welcome to another episodic installation of the Goddamn, also known as the motherfuck. I got a show here for y'all. I'm putting on a goddamn show. Putting on a classic program. Got a program here. It's a classic program. How's it going, folks? I am your host. I am once again here. So hello, folks. Welcome to the programmatic experience. Hashtag programs, not programs. We are here. I'm here. I'm gonna go ahead and click a few things. Hopefully everyone is having a decent day, good day. I want people to have like a good experience in the morning. That's my goal. My goal is to provide folks with a good experience. Decent experience. I want people to. Does this program have paid advertising? No, but If someone wants to pay me to advertise, I'll do it. Got your bonus? Well, there you go. I'm concerned about Allie CIA getting sick. Allie CIA could not handle grandmother getting cummed inside of, unfortunately. But, you know, and when you really think about it, it seems like Allie CIA is responsible for Betty White dying. Really, when you think about it. Because, you know, that was her thing. Where are the drugs at? I got drugs right here. I got drugs right here. I got some drugs right here. I got some drugs right here. You know, I got a lot of drugs. Look, this is a good kind of drug. Got all kinds of drugs, both prescription and non-prescription, here, and I'm ready to consume them all, live on stream. So, we've got a show here. I've got a show. You have, once again, I'd like to remind you that you have nothing to live for. You have no reason to wake up in the morning. But I do. And so that's why I'm here, because I'm doing a show. But anyway, so I've got a program that was designed. This program was designed for, someone sent me a message. Uh-oh. Let me respond to this message before I forget. This is an important message. Apparently this is another message. All right, so we got a show here. People are sending me fucking messages. So we got a show. Hopefully everyone's having a good day today. I'm having a pretty good day. I'm having a, you know, so far so good on today. So far so good. I can't complain, really. I really can't. I mean, I could complain, but I won't. So my mornings are always hell. I'm brain dead for the first few hours. I don't know what creates that. I don't know what the fuck y'all are on when you say, I'm brain dead. Catherine's like, I am too, Janet. What you want to see here is me running at 25%. 25%? Like, what? I wake up, I'm good to fucking go. I wake up, you know, I have my coffee, I got my fucking breakfast. I'm good to go when I wake up. Y'all are like, I need to be awake for 7 hours before I'm really alive. No, I'm a morning person. I wake up, I do what needs to be done, and then I drink my goddamn coffee, and I am ready to goddamn fucking go. I am ready. I'm jumping, I'm jacking, motherfucker. I'm goddamn jumping, and then once I'm done jumping, I'm gonna be fucking jacked up, and I'll be jacking. And, you know, that's part of my morning routine, folks. Jumping and jacking. Woo! Alright, folks, so we got a show here. Got a fucking show here. What the hell is this? What the fuck? Goddamn. It has to be past noon for me. If I wake up afternoon, I'm good to go right away. Yeah, I think, Catherine, I think you're a fucking idiot. That's what I think. I'm thinking of changing my name to Yo Soy Bodan. Go for it. I love soy. All right, folks, so we got a show here. Joe Biden, President of these United States, issuing all of us a stern reminder that Mitch McConnell is a man of honor.
And Vice President Harris, Majority Leader Schumer, Mitch McConnell. Mitch, I don't want to hurt your reputation, but we really are friends. And that is not an epiphany we're having here at the moment. We've always You've always done exactly what you've said. You're a man of your word, and you're a man of honor. Thank you for being my friend.
Folks, I don't know what else to tell you.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
Okay, so this is a problem for so many reasons. One of them, it's just not true. Like, Mitch McConnell is not, like let's assume Mitch McConnell was pure evil, right? Like, let's just assume that, right? And like he said he wanted to do a lot of evil things and then did do them, right? Then him being a man of his word, okay, at least it's technically true. But that isn't true. He often goes back on his word. He changes his mind. I mean, look at January 6th. Like, he capitulated like a fucking little puppy after Donald Trump had his way with him. So this guy changes his fucking words all the fucking time. He changes what he wants to say all the fucking time. It's not true. Second of all, the Build Back Better Act, your premier fucking goddamn fucking legislation has been destroyed. Yes, by Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema. But you know who else is in the Senate? 50 fucking Republicans. Oh, Mitch McConnell's your fucking friend? He's your fucking friend? You know what my fucking friend would do if I were president of the United States, motherfucker? My fucking friend, if they were a fucking senator, would fucking pass my goddamn Build Back fucking Better Act. That's what they would do if they were my fucking friend. But Mitch McConnell's not your fucking friend. They're playing you because you're a fucking senile, demented old man, and you have no idea what the fuck's going on in this goddamn country. Mitch McConnell is horrible. He's a disgusting scumbag. Okay, so I get it. Oh, but the politicians, nobody go. Like, okay, like, can you imagine Donald Trump saying that Chuck Schumer is his best friend? Imagine Donald Trump going up there and going like, yeah, Chuck, he's a great guy. Good old Chuck. Could you imagine that? No, you can't, because it would never happen. Joe Biden's a goddamn moron. Now, again, imagine, this is another level of criticism I have. Mitch McConnell's your fucking friend? Let's assume politics aside, like they play fucking softball together or whatever during the classic days of the Senate. Mitch McConnell's your fucking friend? Are you goddamn joking? Mitch McConnell's horrible. Why would you want him to be your fucking friend? I'll be your friend. If you're desperate for friends, Joe, I'll be your fucking friend. You don't need Mitch McConnell as your fucking friend. That's just kind of like living in an abusive relationship, motherfucker. Yeah, Mitch fucking McConnell's your fucking friend. Destroyed your legacy as vice president. Is currently destroying your legacy as president, making a fucking fool of you in front of the whole world. But no, that's my friend. That's my fucking friend. Go fuck yourself, Joe. Go fuck yourself, Joe. Holy shit, cock ass. Holy shit, motherfuck. God damn.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
Whew. This is the intermission where I just do all the drugs on my table. Vaporizing some legalized weed, folks. Wow, isn't that incredible? Like, it's just legal. Like, I can go outside and do that whenever I want. That's crazy. Like, what a world. You just go on the other side of a magical fucking line and boom. Like, you don't have fascists gunning down your fucking door and sentencing you to a fucking steel box. All you have to do is cross the fucking magical line. You ever think about that? Aren't drug laws incredible? You just cross the magic line. Like, if it's so dangerous on one side of the line, you think it would be dangerous on both sides of the line, you think, right? Like, theoretically. I did go. I got this legal weed at a dispensary. I purchased it legally with my money. In fact, I used a fucking debit card. Can you imagine? Oh, can you imagine? All right. So we got a show here today. I don't even know where to fucking begin on this fucking crap. I don't even know where to begin for this fucking crap. So much fucking crap. I'm behind. I didn't upload anything yesterday, really. I've been the Obamna. What's Obamna? I've honestly been a little bit behind. A little bit behind in the world. I've just been, I've been living it up. I've been living it up and living my goddamn life. You don't even know. Y'all motherfuckers don't even know. Like, think about it. You get a window into this world for one, maybe sometimes 90 minutes, 1 hour a day. You don't know what I do when this stream is over. Minneapolis police killed someone. I saw that a couple of days ago, unless it's another one that didn't happen in the last couple of days, but happened even earlier. Fresh Hinkle cringe this morning. I saw that. I'm saving that one for later, though. I don't want to talk about... If I talk about Hinkle at 10:22 in the morning, that's going to fuck up my whole day. Yeah, so I got a show here. Y'all have no idea what the fuck I'm up to. I am up to some crazy shit. I am up to some crazy fuck ass shit. Y'all got no idea. Uh-oh. I am up to some crazy fuck ass shit. Okay, this should be fun. Obamna, that's great. Pence to speak on rule of law after Trump insists he could overturn election. So this hasn't happened yet, but apparently Mike Pence is not taking kindly to Donald Trump doing all of these. Donald Trump's back in, folks. He is back in. I don't know if anyone noticed this, but over the last 3-4 months, he has been back in. He's campaigning for president. That's what he's doing. He's on a speaking tour every day. He's doing something new. He's cringing it up. And whenever you're in this kind of world where you're in that feedback loop where you're just getting the right-wing garbage and you're spewing out more right-wing garbage, right? It's like capitalism itself. It has to grow at all times. Right, it has to be very slow and steady growth, right? So he's been getting more and more insane. And so Donald Trump recently said that, first of all, I need to say Donald Trump is the loser of the 2020 election. Joe Biden is the winner of the 2020 election. If I don't say that, YouTube will misinterpret me. Donald Trump lost the 2020 election, but Donald Trump insists that Mike Pence, for whatever reason, could have hacked the election, IDKFA, pulled the secret book and the bookshelf opened and then the genie came out and granted Donald Trump 3 wishes, right? It's not possible, but Donald Trump somehow is under the illusion that that's the case. So Mike Pence, who apparently hasn't gotten a text back from Trump since last summer, according to a recent interview, Mike Pence said that Trump hasn't texted him back since summer. Man, that's cold. But anyway, former Vice President Mike Pence will deliver an address about constitutional authority and the rule of law in America as he faces a withering barrage of criticism from his former boss for not interfering in the peaceful transfer of power from the Trump administration to the Joe Biden's presidency. Now, again, it's rich that Mike Pence is going to be talking about fucking rule of law. What about the First fucking Amendment? When Mike Pence was vice president of the United States, there were cases, literally dozens of U.S. domestic journalists have been shot by cops, mostly with these non-lethal bullets, these rubber bullets that causes organ damage. Some journalists had their eyes gouged out by non-lethal bullets. Some journalists died during the 2020 uprising over the police murder of George Floyd. Journalists. We're not talking about the rioters, the looters, miles out, Cockney, the blacks. We're not talking about them. We're talking about journalists. The freedom of the press was under attack in this country. So First Amendment, whatever. Second Amendment, we're talking about. Okay, now look about, this is another case that I think really does detail into Second Amendment grounds as well as First. But there was a case, this doesn't relate to this happened in Biden, never mind. But anyway, so you look at other amendments like the unreasonable search and seizure. Donald Trump, was president when cops engaged in civil asset forfeiture. Record levels of civil asset forfeiture. It's legalized theft by cop. They can basically steal whatever they want, and then if you want it back, you have to prove innocence. You have to hire a lawyer and take the police department to court, and then maybe you'll get your money back. But more often than not, legal fees will outweigh whatever you're going to get back. They can steal whatever they want. Civil asset forfeiture accounted for more than all the burglaries in the entire country. For any given year, civil asset forfeiture was higher. Eighth Amendment, unreasonable. No, that's what's the other one? What's the Eighth Amendment? I'm high. The fucking killing people. The cruel and unusual punishment. That's right. Donald Trump and Mike Pence, when they were in office, they were literally murder people. Like, they brought back federal executions. Like, hello? Like, when Donald Trump, during the 2020 uprising, they literally, Donald Trump went on television and told federal police to go murder a left-wing activist, Michael Reinl, and they went and murdered him. They lied about it. They covered it up, deleted the body camera footage, and they got away with it. Isn't that a little bit cruel and unusual to, have the president of the United States? That's unusual, isn't it? It's certainly cruel to shoot someone when they don't even know you're there, shoot someone in the back and they die before they even realize what's happening. That's cruel for sure. But is that unusual? I don't know. That happens every day in this country with the record levels of gun violence. But you know what is unusual? Donald fucking Trump going on television and telling them to do it. Like, what? Like, what? What? So it's rich that these people are going to get into a battle over what the fuck the Constitution says and doesn't say. These are the most unconstitutional nutbags we've ever seen in our fucking lives take the Oval Office. So I want to say that much. Again, Mike Pence is not on this fucking, I believe in the Constitution. Oh, do you? You believe in the Constitution. What about the 25th Amendment to the Constitution that says that if someone is unfit to be president, they should not be in office? That's the 25th Amendment. You didn't believe in the Constitution after fucking Donald Trump and his supporters literally tried to have you killed. They were chanting, they built a gallows, and they were chanting, "Hang Mike Pence," as they stuffed into the Capitol looking for him. It was later released during the impeachment trial and more in the January 6th committee that Mike Pence was within a minute's reach of these insurrectionists that were chanting, "Hang Mike Pence." They were down the fucking halls. And even then, Mike Pence didn't care about the 25th Amendment. Where has Mike Pence been on 14th Amendment Section 3 that says any politician that gives aid or comfort to those engaging in insurrection are banned and expelled from office for the rest of their lives? Has he been going on statements, talking about how Donald Trump should be banned from running? Has he been talking about how the entire Republican Party should effectively be banned from office? No. So all of a sudden he cares about the Constitution. Okay, fucking whatever. Mr. Pence will speak on Friday in Florida, the Washington Post. Can I close this? Okay. First reported about what a spokesperson told the Post would be an address on the constitutional principles and the rule of law. Okay, the rule of law. Again, these Republicans, it's all projection. It's all crybaby loser garbage. It's all a bunch of fucking stupid ass, fucking dumbass, motherfucking garbage. Though the statement did not mention it, Mr. Pence's event comes just days after Trump launched a new barrage of attacks against Mr. Pence, wrongly asserting that he had the power to overturn the 2020 election and openly insisting that the vice president should have done so despite every court challenge of Mr. Trump's 2020 defeat coming up short. The former vice president has remained active on the political state since his remained active on the political state. That's language I'm not familiar with. Since his public break with Mr. Trump of the campaign to overturn the 2020 election last year, Mr. Trump has publicly and privately excoriated his former running mate, while at the same time engaging in efforts to purge the GOP of any who did not go along with his false claims about voter fraud. Anyway, so it seems that Pence and Trump are going to get into a fight. This would be great if it turns into the Republican primary, if they're fighting on the debate stage of any kind. That would be fucking amazing to watch. But again, none of these people care about the fucking Constitution. Mike Pence didn't give a shit about the fucking Constitution from 2017 all the way to 2021. He didn't give a fuck about the Constitution. He still doesn't give a fuck about the Constitution. All right, so I need you to understand that. He's a fucking loser. But so is Trump, and it's just the biggest loser right here. This is the battle for the biggest fucking loser. And I personally think Trump's going to win that battle because he's the bigger loser, right? So let's be honest. But again, Joe Biden won the 2020 election. Donald Trump lost bigly. He lost epic style. So there you go. Woo! Folks, you and me and we don't even know. Don't even know. All right. So there's been a show that's been planned. A show that was planned. I planned on doing a show. Wow. I am deep in it all of a sudden. That's crazy. Holy mackerel. I am deep in it. All right. Ooh. One long extended toss violation. That's got to be for the live show. During the GOP debates, I'm going to time my in-person tour with the GOP debates, and we'll watch them all in person. That's the only way to get around it. And then someone will record in the background with their shaky cam. They'll go this, and there'll be a fucking video that will be surfaced on Daily Motion of the fucking debate recaps. Apparently Twitter is introducing downvotes. The fuck does that... it doesn't have upvotes, so a downvote doesn't... it should be like and dislike, not like and downvote. What? Right? It makes no sense. But they've got downvotes now. Apparently the official COVID death toll is at 900,000. That's the official toll. The unofficial toll is probably well above a million by now. But, is it safe to say 1 million people died unnecessarily? It's a genocide, folks. I don't know what to tell you. It's a goddamn genocide. Woo! Wow, I need more fucking, I need more covfefe. I got Catherine syndrome. I'm donezo before noon. Happy Friday. I don't believe in fries. I believe in bakes. How come when you bake potatoes, they're not called bakes? And I'm going to go some bikes. Yeah, I am. This is great. So, folks, we know in Texas that they passed this kind of new law or whatever where parents can basically sue their schools or some stupid ass shit if they don't like a book. Again, this is the party of free speech, folks. You know how the Republicans have been saying free speech, free speech. They're censoring me. I'm being censored. I'm censored. Free speech, free speech. Well, anyway, let's read. Texas parent who demanded Michelle Obama biography be removed from schools called the book leftist indoctrination, document shows. Michelle Obama. Does anyone know who Michelle Obama is? Does anyone? Right. She was the spouse of President Barack Obama. Far-right, neoliberal, corporatist, fucking garbage, warmonger, son of a bitch loser. Barack Obama? But in the world of the neo-Nazi right, they think that far-right corporatist warhawks are leftists. Imagine looking at anything that Barack Obama ever did or Michelle Obama has ever done and thinking, yup, leftism. What's leftist? Is it because she's black? That makes her a leftist? What? But anyway, let's read. We got some fucking scoops here, folks. This is the absolute state of the United States of dumb fuck. A Texas parent argued that a children's biography about former First Lady Michelle Obama is leftist indoctrination and demanded that the book be removed from shelves. In a request for reconsideration of instructional resources, an unnamed parent argued that Michelle Obama, Political Icon by Heather E. Schwartz, unfairly painted former President Trump as a bully and shames white girls. Well, now I'm on the parent side. White girls should not be shamed. I'm highly offended. I feel personally attacked. NBC News reporter Mike Hixenbach posted a copy of the parents' complaint to the KT Independent School District in Texas on Twitter. Let's fucking read this shit. All right. Pages 24 and 25, portrayal of the election between Clinton and Trump as negative and extremely biased. Trump and the Republican Party are bullies. I mean, that's factually correct, though. It is factually correct. Remember, during the 2016 election, Trump literally admitted to being a rapist on live television. Remember, I think it was the second debate. He literally said, yeah, I'm a rapist, but guess what? All men are rapists, so it's okay. That was his argument. Remember locker room talk? Do you remember? Like I'm no Hillary Clinton fan. Everyone knows that. I hate Democrats, right? But during the 2016 election, Trump literally confessed to being a rapist and still won the presidency anyway. So I mean, to call them bullies, I think is an understatement. Several pages reference Michelle Obama feeling excluded for sounding like a white girl because her and her family valued an education. I don't even Michelle Obama feeling excluded for sounding like a white girl. I don't even know what that means. I'm sorry. That's just whatever. What do you feel might be the result of the student using this research? Okay, so this is the questionnaire. Complete leftist indoctrination is being placed on any child that reads this book. Again, Clinton and Obama are leftists. Not only are they so leftist, but they're to read anything about their lives would make a complete leftist indoctrination happen for any kid. It's just reading Michelle Obama was the former first lady. Well, I'm a leftist now. I'm not only am I a leftist, but I've been completely indoctrinated into leftism. Again, you need to understand 100% of the time when a right winger is attacking something for being left wing, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, okay? I'm a leftist, motherfucker. I believe in universal health care. I believe in abolishing the police. I believe in ending the wars. I believe in decriminalizing all drugs. That's kind of the stuff that leftists believe in. Barack Obama actually didn't believe in any of that shit. He didn't give a fuck. So he's not a left winger. He's a right winger by any metric. But anyway. And neither is Michelle Obama. If you're married to a genocidal maniac, you're probably not that great of a person. Let's be honest. Michelle could divorce this guy and be fine. Right? He is a genocidal, murdering, warhawk maniac. Barack Obama, right? Barack Obama should be tried at The Hague and sentenced to fucking prison. Okay? He's a disgusting scumbag, shit on my shoes. Would go down in the history as one of the worst people of all time if history actually gave a shit of ranking how bad people are. Genocidal freak show moron. I hate Barack Obama. So the idea but again, Donald Trump is worse, right? So it's the idea that they think anything slightly to the left of them is Karl Marx did the fusion dance with fucking Lenin or something. You know what I mean? They're fucking they're ridiculously stupid. Right? It's I believe, if they believe in murdering all immigrants, you believe in murdering every immigrant except for one, that's your cousin somewhere or something, so you'll keep him. That makes you a left-wing, basically a communist. You don't, this is how they think. This is how they act. This is what the shit they believe in. They do not have enough political background or understanding of racial injustice to see the biased narrative. I don't think kids are the only people that don't have enough of a political background. It shows that Trump is a bully. The Republican Party has bad values because they didn't align with those of Obama's. And if you sound like a white girl, you should be ashamed of yourself. First of all, I don't think that that's what it says. I don't think that the point of Michelle Obama saying that she sounds like a white girl is saying that sounding like a white girl is bad. But again, I don't align with Obama's values. Does that make me a right-winger? No, it makes me a fucking left-winger, okay? Because Obama's not a left-winger, he's a right-winger. I need you to understand basic political definitions. 3, for what age group would you recommend this resource? I think even at high school level, they couldn't see the blatant bias portrayed in the book. The book is not written like an opinion piece. It is written as fact. Huh. You know what you're not allowed to learn about in Texas high schools? Evolution. Did you know that? You're not allowed to learn about evolution in high school. In fact, when I went to high school in New Jersey and I didn't learn about evolution, it was like 1 page and it was treated as like a potential theory. Like, you know, like an opinion, a hypothesis. Not fact. Not this is science. In New Jersey, and again, I'm 25 years old, so this was about 10 years ago, right? I was in high school and we were not allowed to learn about fucking evolution. Right? So I need you to understand, like, this is what the right does, right? Like they will twist and turn everything in the world to fit their fucking narrative, and it doesn't matter if it makes sense or not. It has, like, being logically consistent is irrelevant. Is there anything beneficial about this resource? The book could have been much better written to portray the successes in Michelle's life. The 2016 election was not an accomplishment or mountain that Michelle declaimed to achieve or gain anything. I honestly don't know what the 2016 election has to do with Michelle Obama at all. I haven't read this book. How sounding like a white girl and the family dream of higher education was written should have been spun in a more productive manner. Education is important for everyone. It's not discrimination on any race. We should all strive for excellence. Man, it sounds like she's really pissed off by that one line sounding like a white girl. Like, I'm sure that was like a throwaway line, you know, or something, like, but she got really fucking triggered by that. I want to read this book just to see the context there. Okay, this is great. Hold up, let me make sure you can see this. Okay, this is great. Okay. Did you read the entire book, see the entire video or DVD, blah, blah, blah? Okay, entire material reviewed, checkbox, reviewed only parts, what parts be specific. So she checked off neither of these things. Entire material reviewed, I don't want to check that off. I want to write my own answer. I read the entire book! That's great. What do you believe is the theme and or purpose of this material? Indoctrination of the leftist movement with a negatively slanted view of another president. Reverse racism, wanting young white girls to believe that the way they talk is culturally unacceptable way in today's society. Neither of those two things have anything to do with Michelle Obama's book. I'm just being 100% honest with you. Right, that doesn't exist. What would you like the school district to do about the material? Name of your local school. Other. Have it withdrawn from Katie Ilsd. Okay? I love this. Okay. So again, it's not have it reevaluated. I'm not interested in that. Withdraw it from the campus. No. I don't want to withdraw it. I want to put other and then all caps, have it withdrawn from, again, she's saying the same thing as a checkbox, but she wants to say it in her own words. It has to be all caps. What other book of equal literary quality or comparable subject information would you recommend? B, what other audio? Okay, that wasn't answered. Anyway, so there you go. That's what's happening. According to the form, complete leftist indoctrination. Michelle Obama didn't respond for comment. Well, that's a shame. Anyway, folks, Barack Obama's not a leftist. Neither is Michelle Obama. And here is Exhibit A.
The truth of the matter is that when you look at some of my policies, in a lot of ways, Richard Nixon was more liberal than I was.
Richard Nixon, a famous liberal, more liberal than Barack Obama. What does that tell you? That tells you that these people are dumb as fuck. That's what it tells you. That's what it should tell you. Anyway. All right, folks, brace for impact. Noam signs law banning transgender athletes from female sports teams. Great. South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem on Thursday signed a bill into law that bans transgender athletes from competing on girls' and women's sports teams. This bill has been an important priority for a lot of the people behind me, Noem said in a press conference. I don't care about reading the rest of that. The new law will apply to all state-accredited schools in South Dakota. So again, this is the thing we're talking about here. We are talking about schools. We're not talking about the fucking Olympics, bro. We're not we're talking about like fucking middle school, motherfucker. Like, I mean, seriously, why would you fucking divide like sports into fucking these strict categories in fucking middle school, right? Like, it's so ridiculous. And again, 99% of people, if they talk about the transgender sport debate, have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. They've got no idea what the fuck they're talking about. You know what? And the other thing, again, for schools, who fucking gives a shit? Who fucking cares? And I wonder if this specifically bans trans men from participating in sports with cis women. Because a lot of the times when these bills happen, what you see is you see trans men participate in the girls category because they're girls and they completely destroy everyone, right? So again, like, there is no solution here that has anything to do with what the only solution to the sports question. I don't even know why the fuck this is how far right our fucking conversation is in this fucking country, is that they're like basic human rights for people are based on whether or not they're useful for sports or something, right? Like what? Like, I just, like, it's fascinating to me, right? But it's almost like we had the same conversation in, like, the 1940s and 50s when it comes to black people in baseball and so forth. But hey, that's a whole different kind of story. So again, how you have equal and fair sports. First of all, it's irrelevant for schools. It's irrelevant. Sports are about having fun. The idea that people, like, I think that there's a huge problem with grooming kids, not to be transgender, but to be sports freaks, right? Think about all the fucking damage to your body that playing, like, football in fucking middle school will do. You know, think about these, there are these kids that are lied to in middle school and high school thinking that they can get in the NFL, NBA, MLB, or whatever the fuck. They're groomed into thinking that if they train hard enough, maybe they'll make it to the big leagues. That's fucking grooming. That's fucking grooming. Maybe you'll be an Olympic swimmer if you train really hard. Sometimes, right, that's possible. But most of the time, they end up getting disappointed and they're groomed their entire childhood, and they don't get to have fun because they're constantly trained. So I have a huge problem with sports in general. The only answer to these kinds of questions is, one, make sports be about fun. I don't give a fuck about your fucking Olympic swimming gold medals. Everyone's body is different. Everybody's body is different. Me, I am not going to be able to get an Olympic swimming medal no matter how hard I try. If I were to spend 10 fucking years, I would never be able to become an Olympic swimmer. Why? Because my genetics, right, and the way that my body functions is just not capable. I'm not capable of doing that. Everyone's body is different. So if you want to have sports, the only sports that matter, in my opinion, are the best in the world. If you're the best in the world at something, okay, that's cool. Also, you know what else? I don't give a shit. I'm gonna go play kickball for fun. I'm gonna go play fucking hopscotch, motherfucker. Again, this whole, like, all sports, everyone has to have their own category is fucking stupid garbage, right? Like, the only thing that matters is who's the fastest in the world. But guess what? It doesn't matter that much, right? Because sports should ultimately be about having fun. It should be about learning about who your teammates are, learning about your community, having a good time with the other people. It shouldn't be about, like, oh, I hate that other school because they beat me in a sports team. Like, I mean, like, this whole thing is just, it's so ridiculous. It's so cringy. And this is just, like, their way of, like, you know, targeting transgender people. Again, these are kids. These are, like, middle schoolers. Who gives a fuck about middle school fucking kickball, motherfucker? Who gives a fuck about kickball? But okay, you want to make sports about competition and everyone gets a fair chance? Well, first of all, that's not how it works. Having things divided into men's leagues and women's leagues, that's not fair. How is that fair? There's no fairness there. We see in a lot of instances where cisgender women, right, that means they were born and raised as women and are women, right? They are banned from women's sports because they have too high testosterone levels naturally, right? They do no, like, they maybe, I don't know, maybe they eat too much red meat. I don't know, right? But it's like, you know, they are banned because they're too trans, even though they're cis. What? Their test levels are too high, but they're not trans, they're cis, but they're banned. Right? So what? Like, so it's like, obviously, the separating by gender doesn't do anything. It doesn't accomplish the goal, right? The only way to actually make things fair would be having evaluations. Let's say you take a test and you get put into a specific class or a specific league, and, you know, let's say you train a little bit, you could then get replaced into another class or league. That's the only way to make it fair, is to have evaluations and tests and training, right? We can do this for everything else. We can evaluate people on other things. Why can't we do it with sports? It's extremely easy. So again, this isn't about fairness. This isn't about promoting equality. This is about bigotry. This is about attacking people that are trans because they can get away with doing this a little bit more. So first it starts out with the bathrooms and the sports. You can't have a trans person use the bathroom. What? Trans people aren't allowed in the bathroom? Are we supposed to just get uromycetitis poisoning and die, motherfucker? What the hell are you on about? Trans people aren't allowed to use the bathroom? Now we're not allowed to play kickball? Like, what? What? Like, it doesn't make any sense. It really makes no sense. So I don't give a shit about anything else about what this says. But again, like, the idea, like, conservatives argue that transgender athletes may pose unfair physical advantages over cisgender athletes. Okay. In the same way that someone who's like 6'5" has an advantage in basketball over someone who's 4'9". Should we have, like, legislation to ban tall people from sports? I don't know, just have separate categories based on certain characteristics. No. But let's have a category. Let's just, like, draft the law to ban anyone over the height of 5 feet and 2 inches. They should be banned from basketball because we got to keep it fair, right? We got to keep it fair by banning certain people that may or may not, usually, like, 80%, 90% of the time, they have no advantage in any capacity, right? But let's ignore that part just for the sake of argument, right? Like, I just, like, what? Right? I'm just like, this whole fantasy. While transgender advocates argue that legislation would unfairly target students. And again, okay, so, we're going to have trans-only teams in middle school where there's only, like, maybe 2 trans kids, and that's a stretch, right? So, okay, you're going to have a trans sports team that's just going to be, like, one person throwing the ball and the other person catching the ball and then throwing it back. Wow, great fucking sports team. Really good fucking job. It doesn't remind me of segregation at all, in any way, at all, right? Like, again, these motherfuckers are fucking ridiculous. They're stupid and they're dumb. And this whole thing, the transgender sport debate. Like, people view this as, like, this is an intellectual, philosophical query of our time. This is a modern quandary for the new era. Like, what the fuck are you on about, bro? You are on drugs. You are smoking some stuff that you probably shouldn't be doing. Like, again, like, the obvious solution to the transgender sports debate is to leave people the fuck alone and to stop taking sports so fucking seriously. If you really want sports to be as fair as possible, then yes, we can do that. Fine, whatever. Do fucking tests and evaluations and do, like, you know, like, every month or so, let someone run a fucking course, create a fucking, like, algorithm that determines what fucking category they're put in. That would be a lot more fair than just dividing things into men and women anyway. Let's be fucking honest. Let's be real with ourselves and each other, right? Everyone's bodies are fucking different, right? All women are not built the same. All men are not built the same. All people are not built the same. To say that someone who's, like, fucking, 4'8" has the same, like, ability to play basketball as someone who's, like, 5'9" just because they're both women, that's ridiculous. It's dumb. It's nonsense. It's fucking stupid, and it makes you look like a fucking dumbass, okay? But then the people argue, whenever I have this debate with someone, they're always go like, well, then that's creating too many categories. And it detracts from, you know what, women's records, right, as it is right now, that's already too many categories. Like, in my opinion, the only thing that matters is the fastest human. That's all I'm interested in. And guess what? I'm not interested in it at all. I'm not at all interested in it at all. But if I were to be interested in it, I would only care about the fastest person. Now, if my friend is, like, really good and they can run a lot, and I'd be proud of them, yeah. But who cares about having, like, a 19th place medal? To me, it's just whatever. Sports should be about having fun. It should be about enjoying yourself. A lot of sports culture is hyper-capitalistic, hyper-competitive. And when you look, I've seen some documentaries on people that go into like, you know, that are groomed to become like athletes, like from the age, like they will literally groom people from like ages of 6, 7, 8 into becoming these Olympic trainees, right? And their whole world, they literally spend like almost like, you know, let's be honest, you're not really a conscious being until like maybe 5 or 6 years old. You're barely a conscious being at that point, but a little bit conscious, right? And then your parents start shoving this athlete bullshit, this Olympic bullshit down your throat. And then all of a sudden you're 18, you're 19, right? The only thing you've ever known is studying for the Olympics, and then you get fucking 5th place, and then your entire, like, there have been cases where people literally commit suicide because they feel like they've disappointed their whole fucking family, right? So again, we want to talk about grooming kids. Grooming kids is a lot more of a fucking problem with the Olympics and with sports than it is for fucking transgender people. Okay, so go fuck yourself with these stupid ass dumb fuck arguments. You're a loser. You're nothing but a loser. All of the people you talk to and agree with on this subject are losers. You're a fucking moron. You're a son of a bitch. And you're not, and on top of it all, you're not even smart. Like, people do this whole, oh, we're going to debate and go fight and have a conversation about a place of ideas. Like, you're not even smart. Like, you're not even good at what you, the only thing that you try, oh, we want to debate and have a good open discussion. You're not even good at that. You're bad at everything. You suck. You're a loser. And no one cares about how much of a loser you are, motherfucker. I'm sorry. Like, someone who's trans and fucking 12 years old and is fucking having a hard time as it is being trans and 12 years old in this fucking hellhole world that we live in, they don't need to deal with your fucking dumb fuck ass, okay? You know, I really, seriously, I mean, like, fuck. Could you imagine being fucking like a 15-year-old trans person in South Dakota? In South Dakota, you're a 15-year-old trans person. There's like 8 people in South Dakota and you're the one trans, right? Can you imagine how fucking hard that's going to be? As it is, and now we've got fucking state legislation that fucks your shit up even more. Like, fuck me. Like, holy shit, can't you just leave people the fuck alone? Why the fuck are they so interested in our kids, by the way? Why are these right-wingers so goddamn fucking interested getting their fucking hands all over our fucking kids? How the fuck do you even check, by the way, what gender a kid is? Let me know. I'm curious. How are you going to do this? How do you check a kid's gender? If a kid enrolls in a school, right, and let's say they've got a female name, let's say they've got everything about them, all their markers are female, let's just say, how do you check their gender? How do you make sure they're not secretly a man? Huh? I don't know. Maybe that you throw them in the locker room and tell them to undress, because that's what we do in this country. We literally have kids stand naked in locker rooms with adults standing over them. Does anyone remember that? I remember going to high school and being like told to undress. Now, personally, I never did it. I said, fuck that. I'm not doing gym. I refuse to participate. I'm not taking my clothes off in front of a fucking fat, ugly fucking... I shouldn't call someone ugly and fat, but I'm just describing my own personal. I'm describing my personal gym teacher he just happened to be fat, but also on another level that is distinct from being fat, also ugly and gross and disgusting. And he had like hair all over his chest, and he'd wear these fucking weird, like super tight, like clothes, even though, like, you know, you really shouldn't. It was like, why was I like asked to take my clothes off in front of that guy? That's fucking weird. So why are these people trying to, like, what is it? What are locker rooms? Like, I don't know, man. I'm just saying, like, this fucking shit's crazy. These right wingers love to touch our kids. They love to prey on our kids. They love to stare at naked kids. That's all they want to do. That's all they ever will do. Look at fucking Jim Jordan in Congress, right? He literally fucking covers up for like molestation in high school fucking gym classes, right? So this motherfucker, like, you know, these guys are crazy. They're fucking crazy. They're absolutely crazy. Again, we live in a culture where, like, you're 14 years old and you have to take your clothes off in front of a big fucking sweaty fucking like hairy guy. Like, what the fuck? I never did that. I said no. I refused. I failed gym class. You know, I refused. I said, fuck that shit. I'm going to stay. I'm not going to participate. If I have to take my clothes off in front of a fucking, like, ugly, like, hairy dude who's, like, fucking, like, you know, like, wet lips, drooling at the thought, I'm not doing that. Fuck you. I'd rather fail and drop out than take my clothes off in front of an adult. It's forced molestation. In my opinion, it's forced sexual assault. If you've ever been to a high school in the United States of America and you are forced to take your clothes off in front of an adult, that is sexual assault, in my opinion. In this country, in order to get a high school diploma, you have to have man mandatory sexual assault to get a high school diploma in the United States of America. Have you ever, like, has anyone really stopped to think about this? Like, I don't know. I don't think about it often because I refused. I didn't do that. I refused, right? Because I was failing high school for other reasons. So I was like, you know, this is the least of my concern. I'm not going to bother with that shit. But again, you ever think about that? In order to get a high school diploma in the USA, you have to have mandatory sexual assault. Like, you have to be sexually assaulted in order to get a high school diploma. That's fucking wild. That's crazy. But that's the world we live in, y'all. I don't know what to tell you. I don't think about this that much, right? But, like, honestly, though, like, it is crazy. Like, when you really think about it, like, everyone in the chat right now, all the Americans, right? Like, it wasn't just me that had to get, like, that had, like, adults, like, yell at us to get us undressed, right? Right? Like, it wasn't just me in fucking New Jersey 10 years ago, right? Like, this is a thing. Like, in order to get a high school diploma, you have to go through mandatory sexual assault. That's fucking crazy, man. Like, I mean, like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, it's one thing if it's just the kids, right? That's one thing. It's a whole different story when the adult stands there and watches, right? Like, that's a whole extra layer of, like, what the fuck's going on, is when, like, you know, if all the kids were getting naked and it's just the kids and the adults are locked out, still really fucking weird, and definitely still, like, you know, mandatory sexual assault. But when the guy, like, when the fucking 50-year-old is standing there and going, like, like, hands on their hips, going like that's. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there, folks. What the fuck, right? Like, what the fuck? That's crazy. These motherfuckers, man. Holy mackerel. Alright, folks, so we got some, like, fresh cringe. We've got some fresh cringe here, so let's get into this. Alright. So, if the adult isn't there, the kids could be assaulting one another. If the adult is there, you have a middle-aged dude watching. Yeah, I know, right? Like, that's the thing, is like, what the fuck? Like, just what the fuck? Other weird shit in gym. Elementary gym teacher, when you got in trouble, had you slow dance in front of the class with a random member. What the fuck? What? Yeah, that's, I was told, now here's the thing, there's multiple layers, right? Is you can't participate in gym class unless you change clothes. They mandate uniforms, right? So, like, one option was to go to, like, to change in, like, the bathroom, right, before going to gym class. This was an option presented to me, and I still refused, right? I was an edgy-ass fucking teenager. I did not like authority. I was an edgelord teenager. I said fuck you to multiple teachers, right? Like, I said no, right? So one of the options that was presented is that you can go to the bathroom and change, you know, before actually getting to fucking gym class, right? So, but you need to change your clothes in some capacity. Why? I don't know. If I want to wear just generic sweatpants to school all day and get stinky in them, that should be my fucking freedom. I should be allowed to do that. But you're not in school, right? So in my case, like, they told me it was either, you know, you sit there in the corner and we mark you as, like, as equivalent to skipping class. That's how it was told to me. I was skipping class. even though I was there, right? I was skipping class, and I would not be allowed to participate in gym, right? So it's like, personally, that's a two birds with one stone. I don't want to get naked in front of a fucking freak show sweaty guy, and I also don't want to fucking go around and play laser tag. To me, that's a win-win. So I sat there in the corner of gym class, and I would read books all day. That was my thing. But I was an edgelord. That's the other thing. It's like, my gym teacher, that I had 3 times because I failed 9th grade gym 3 times. I got my high school days. I have a lot of stories. So I failed high school for a multitude of reasons. One of which was because I had chronic health issues, and so I was like just absent a lot anyway, right? So I failed every class because of attendance. So my opinion was like, I'm not gonna get uncomfortable in gym class if I know that this high school experience isn't going to end up like, I knew like pretty much very early on, like halfway through 9th grade, right? I knew that like high school, I was not gonna make it to the end of high school. I was gonna drop out and get a GED. So I was just waiting until I hit the magical 16 years old for that to happen. But anyway, so so I told my gym teacher no. And then so I had the same gym teacher like in 10th grade, but in 10th grade I did 9th grade. They made me do 9th grade gym and 10th grade gym in 10th grade. So what I would, they were back to back. So what I would do is I would just sit there in the auditorium for like an hour and a half and read books. And so, I was just like, and all the teachers knew that I'm the kid who doesn't give a fuck. And sometimes, like, whenever the fun part was the substitute, right? Whenever the substitute would come and they would try to give me fucking an attitude, I would say, no, I'm not doing this. You can't make me get naked in front of you. I would like use that language. I'm not getting naked in front of you, you weirdo. Leave me alone. I'm trying to read a book. One of the substitutes actually took a book away from me, because I would just read in school, and I would usually carry around in my backpack like 2 to 3 books, then I'd cycle through them. And so one of my substitutes for gym took the book away from me and said, you're not even allowed to read. You have to sit there and watch everyone else have fun. As if to me, oh my God, watching them run in circles and play kickball is so much fun. And my punishment for not getting naked in front of a weird 60-year-old is that I have to watch other people have fun. So what I did was I just started reading another book because I had another one on me. And then she got really mad. It was just great. I mean, I was a fucking edgelord in high school, motherfucker. I did not give a shit. It's not even borderline, Sam. It was absolutely homoerotic sexual assault. No borderlines necessary. Yeah, the substitutes were always the weirdos. Like, the main, like, you talk to your primary gym teacher like a couple times, and they pretty much like, this kid's obviously not, I'm not going to expend any energy on this, right? So they learn pretty quickly. But whenever the substitutes would come in, the substitute gym teachers, one hell of a phenomenon, right? The substitute motherfucking gym teacher. Should I do this as a segment? Should we do like high school stories with Andrea? Should this be a segment? Is this good enough? But anyway, the fucking high school substitute gym teacher, that's a special kind of crazy, right? Because these are the kind of motherfuckers that like, they're no longer they really love teaching gym class, right? They love it. Yet they're not actively gym teachers. I wonder why. Like, they won't, like, you love teaching gym so much. Why don't you actually get a job? Like, maybe something happened to them and they can only be a substitute now. That's a little weird. But these motherfuckers were crazy. Like, substitute teachers in general are pretty fucking crazy. But substitute gym teachers are insane. They are insane. So again, I had them like take away my books. Sometimes like they sent me to the principal's office and like, I explained the whole story to them, and the principal was like, I got detention a lot in high school too. I think one of them was related to me like mouthing off to a substitute. I don't know if it was Jim. I don't remember if it was Jim, but I remember I was mouthing off to a substitute teacher because I didn't feel like participating in the class. I'm pretty sure it was Jim, but it might have been something else. And I got detention for it, and I didn't go to detention. And then I got extra detention for not going to detention, and I never went to the extra detention, and eventually nothing happened. So my presumption is that like whoever was doing detention like didn't care and like was just like filling everyone in and they just assumed that I had gone. But I never went to detention. I got detention like 3 or 4 times in high school, and I went to 0 of those detentions. I don't know how substitute teachers work. That's true. My only understanding of substitute teachers are from watching King of the Hill. But anyway, so like substitute gym teachers, man, those motherfuckers were crazy. Because like every time I would have a substitute gym teacher, I would tell them, I'm not getting naked in front of you. Nothing you can say or do would allow that to happen. So one time we had like a substitute, like it was like a week or 2 or something happened to the primary teacher. And this substitute literally, like, instead of like letting me just like chill in the auditorium where the gym class was like the whole time, this substitute's idea of punishing me was to make me stand in the locker room as everyone else was getting naked. Like that was their punishment, is I had to go into the locker room and watch everyone get naked. That was my punishment for not participating in gym class. Like what? like hello? Like that's fucking weird. That's strange. That's really bizarre stuff. So I don't know about y'all. I don't know about everywhere else, but in New Jersey, right, approximately 10 years ago, there were some really interesting substitute teachers and gym teachers. Like, it's bizarre. It's strange. These motherfuckers are strange. And honestly, I really do genuinely think they should all be in jail. I really do. How can you have mandatory education but also kick... My whole thing with high school was I had a bunch of chronic illnesses that I talk about a decent chunk because... especially when I go on the fiber tangents. But when I was younger, my chronic health issues were like really bad. So I would just I wouldn't be able to go to school like half the time. And so my school, like I would get doctor's notes, right? But my school just didn't believe them. I don't really know. I remember they told me that doctor's notes aren't valid anymore. Like that, like for whatever reason, they decided that doctor's notes aren't valid. So I failed everything in 9th grade over attendance. Like I scored like, 70, 80 points, at least. Cause another thing is in school, I didn't do homework. I just refused, like the concept of doing homework to me. I just refused. Like I'm in school long enough already. Sometimes I would do the homework during school, right? Like during lunch or whatever, or maybe during gym class, I'd just do the homework. But sometimes I wouldn't. Like, I just wouldn't. So I would just like, I'm not doing... My policy was, if I don't get it finished at school, I'm not doing it at home. I refuse. There's a 0% chance. I never did homework at home. I refuse. It's just, on principle, I'm not going to do it. And so... so I usually got 70 to 80 points and things, unless like like some classes that I was just, pretty good at because I was reading books about, like science. I passed like my science classes with over 100 points and failed because of attendance. So that's pretty crazy. But anyway, so they didn't believe my doctor's notes were real, or they just didn't care. And it was like, since then, I'm pretty sure that that's not legal. Like, I'm pretty sure that they fucked me over. I'm pretty sure that that was illegal and that I should have had like other options available. But I was a dumb kid, and I was pretty much like, I'm just going to drop out as soon as I'm eligible to do so, which was when I was 16. And so I dropped out and got a GED. That's my high school story. Hashtag. We started talking about this because of fucking creepy gym teachers, but there's high school stories with Andrea. There you go, folks. Make that a segment. What did I do at home? I played video games. I tried community college. That's a whole different story. That's a whole different story. I tried community college. It's not for me. It's just not for me. It's just not for me. Like, my first experience with community college was in order to do anything, there was like the mandatory courses, and one of them was economics. And I was like, oh, I would love to learn about economics. That sounds fun. I like math, so I'll just learn about economics. And then this was in 2016 when I did community college. my economics teacher like started class with like this big tangent about how Bernie Sanders is destroying America, and if anyone in the class believes that Bernie Sanders knows anything about the economy, and that he thought that Bernie Sanders was like the second coming of like Lucifer and was going to destroy the whole world, right? And like I instantly, like, that was my first experience, and I was instantly like, I do not respect this person at all. I do not think that this person has anything to teach me. I was instantly zoned out. I was zoned out instantly. Like, I was instantly turned off. I was like, there's nothing I can learn. So I tried reading the book a little bit, and I was like, I already know all this. And it was like basically just like trauma, like, because it was like a repeat of high school, where it's like I already knew everything. And like I was just uncomfortable being in this social environment, right? And so I took a couple of other classes, like sociology, which is, you know, I read the book ahead. I was interested in sociology, right? So I was just like, I'll just read the textbook. So I just read the textbook and attended like the first month of classes. And then like every single class I would take was just shit that I already understood from reading the textbook. And so I was just like, this isn't for me. This isn't for me. So I dropped out of community college. That's not for me. It's just, school isn't for me. Like I don't mind having a teacher. Like if it's a one-on-one teaching thing, like if I'm like a pupil and someone's my mentor for something, that's a different kind of relationship. But having to be in a classroom with other people, and just like having to deal with the fact that like every single time I'm in a classroom with other people, I'm either the furthest ahead or one of the furthest ahead. You know, it's just, it's a waste of time. Like, if it's one thing, if it's like a Zoom class, like maybe I would enjoy like Zoom classes. I don't know, because then I could do other things, right? But it's like, the idea for me is having to actually go physically, because it's not like just I have to waste like, you know, an hour in a class, right? I have to take a bus. I'd have to take the train. It's like a fucking 2-hour commute, an hour to get there, an hour to get back. And then like, it's just like such a waste of my fucking time. It's such a waste of my fucking time. And it was like when I went to community college, because I was not really into it at all, but like I wanted to do it to make a family member happy. And I instantly had like PTSD with like my high school experience. And I was like, I'm not doing this. I refuse. It's not happening. And then the homework was so fucking stupid. I just like the whole, like, I hate school. I don't like school. I'm not a school person. Matt Strackbone, I'm late, having a terrible day, and realize how much I enjoy the show and chat. Matt, you will love the intro for today. People did not like it, and that means I know you would like it, so I've been doing a lot of experimentation. But yeah, we're just having like a little bit of a chat segment. I got 2 more clips I want to show for today, but I'm milking this chat segment while we got it. Yeah, this is why, you know, for those of you that follow me, this is why I'm so anti-school. Like, I'm one of those kinds of anarchists that like hate school. Now, again, I want school to be better. I wish we had a school system in this country that worked, right? But like as it is right now, the school system that currently exists is horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. Like, I had extremely traumatic school stories. I mean, like, I haven't even gotten into elementary school. Elementary school was pretty rough, too. But high school was fun for me. Because, like, high school was kind of where I was, like, becoming my own person. So I was, like, you know, I never stood up for the pledge in high school. That was, like, my first, like, big, like, statement. Because, you know, I was an atheist, so it wasn't that I hated America per se, but I hated that God was a part of the pledge. So I didn't stand up for the pledge, and that was a fun one. Oh my God, that was so good. But high school was kind of fun because I like had enough autonomy and like kind of like identity to be able to like make it a little enjoyable. You know, I would like, you know, make fun of teachers, and I would like do that whole thing. I would make fun of other people. But elementary school was just straight traumatic, right? Because I'm just like an autistic kid that has no friends. And so it was like I would just get bullied and I didn't know what to do. And it was like, it was just horrible. And there was no upside to elementary school at all. stop stealing my origin story. Technically, you did do it first, right? Because you're older than me, so. I still have nightmares about being in school, and there's some class I've been cutting, but I have to get to the final, but I don't even know where the classroom is. That's a classic. Yeah, that's a classic. See, for me, like, by the time I got to high school, like, I was already pretty much, like, again, I have chronic health issues that plagued my entire scholastic, because that was another thing. Like, I barely was able to go to school, so I was always the weird kid who would never, like, show up half the time. So for me, that was that made me a ripe target to get, like, mocked and harassed, right? So by the time I went to high school, like, I was just like, you know what, I'm not going to finish high school, so I'm just going to enjoy it while I can. I'm going to enjoy the fun parts. I'm going to be my own person, and I'm not going to take any bullshit. But in that, I did take bullshit because technically, I mean, I should have had a diploma, but I don't know. One of these days, I'm going to, like, do a huge deep dive into, like, that whole thing. Capital T, capital H, W. That whole thing. Yes, those are capitalized. I thought I was too weak. Yeah, I mean, I got bullied for being too weak. I got into a fight ish. It was like a proto fight, where a fight breaks out, but then it gets stopped before, like, the fight actually has a determined end. But, like, it was like one of the first, like, weeks of high school. I think it was like the first week of high school, one of them. And I didn't stand up for the pledge, and I was reading a book, because that's what I would do. I would just ignore school and just sit there and read a book the whole time. And so someone like got really mad at me because I wasn't respecting the flag or something. Like that was like, imagine like trying to fight someone because they don't love America. Like, that's the kind of bullshit that. So someone like tossed my book like out of my hands or whatever, and then like threatened to fight me. So I just like got up and like pushed them to the ground, and then they got up, and then there was like we almost got into like a fight scenario, but then the teacher stepped in, unfortunately. But they didn't really. Like, I guess like rumor spread that I was like weird and like could beat the shit out of someone because I didn't I didn't care. Yep, but I got into a fight over the flag. That's crazy. I had some kids try and bully me, but in middle school I beat the piss out of the kid trying to do it. In high school I outsmarted everyone who tried to take shots and embarrass them. Yeah, I mean it's pretty classic, Catherine. We got a very similar story. That's pretty funny. It's pretty good. All right, folks. Hopefully the high school stories and community college stories with Andrea segment has been fun. Let's get into some more news. So we've got some bullshit. We got some bull ass shit. We got some bullshit. So this is Marjorie Taylor Greene going on the Alex Jones program, and I just want to say that I do not endorse what these folks are saying. This is some really out there stuff. Some really out there stuff. But I want to, talk about it because Marjorie Taylor Greene is a member of Congress, right? There are members of Congress. Max the dog is currently having his own time. There are members of Congress that actually think this insane garbage nonsense, and I think it's important to understand that this is a problem in this country. So I have two clips here from the Alex Jones program featuring Marjorie Taylor Greene, and we're going to get in.
Make of Laura Logan getting deplatformed and getting attacked for coming out and comparing him to Joseph Mengele. I think it's a very fair comparison.
Him is Dr. Fauci in this context?
I think it's a fair comparison. It's basically been one big human experiment, right? That's what COVID-19 vaccines have been. That's what COVID-19 has been. So do I think Lara Logan should have been deplatformed or attacked for what she said?
So they're basically calling Anthony Fauci Joseph Mengele. That's interesting. Now, again, we're going to get into some more weirdo territory here. But this is, yes, the CDC has made a lot of mistakes during this pandemic. Absolutely. Absolutely. But where these people are coming from, you need to understand these people are not coming from a universal health care, provide vaccines for everybody, like, which should be, like, I believe in vaccine mandates. We have mandatory vaccination, right? We should have free healthcare for everybody. So these people they don't think that Fauci is doing enough when it comes to the poor judgment and the mistakes. And this is the crazy out there part. So let's watch it.
This is truly mental illness. Wearing a mask today after 2 years of this Chinese.
You know what's mental illness? Wearing pants. If I want to go to the supermarket and I want to have my genitals exposed, right? It's hot outside, goddammit. Why the fuck do I have to wear pants? When you really think about it, that we have mandatory pants wearing in this society, that's fascism. That's medical fascism. You know, haven't you seen these studies about how, like, you know, wearing like tight underwear can, like, you know, fuck with your your body and stuff? No. I disagree. I'm no pants. Hashtag no pants.
Virus that has infected our country. This man-made Chinese virus that.
Again, I don't endorse any of these statements. These are all really batshit conspiracies.
Dr. Fauci sent our tax dollars to and contributed to, but people still wearing masks. I mean, it's truly mentally ill. We know the masks don't.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but people are still wearing shirts as well. Now, why is it that people have mandatory shirt wearing in this country? Again, all right, you don't want to see my genitals, that's fine. But, I mean, I want to walk around the supermarket without my shirt on. I should be allowed. It's hot outside, motherfucker. Like, you know, like this idea that masks are a step too far, but like having shoes in a supermarket, you need shoes. You need a shirt. You need pants. What? Like, what? In my opinion, it's either... I believe in mandatory masking. If you don't have a mask on, if we can send someone to jail for not having pants on, we can send someone to jail for not having a mask on. Let's be honest. Okay?
Don't work, and the vaccines don't work. People that are vaccinated are still getting COVID, but I think that people...
Again, this binary thinking, the vaccination, I think it's like 97% or something of the deaths are with unvaccinated people. So I read that somewhere, with vaccinated cases, like, it's very unlikely to die if you are vaccinated. You might get sick, you might have a breakthrough case, but it's very, very unlikely that you will die if you have been vaccinated. But again, it's not like 100%, so therefore it doesn't work. This binary thinking is so fascinating to me, right? It's like eating food, sometimes you get food poisoning. So therefore, eating food doesn't always make you feel good. Sometimes you get food poisoning. Therefore, I'm never going to eat ever again. I'm hashtag no food.
People really have blood on their hands that have stopped the prescriptions of ivermectin, refuse people who have had...
So again, the vaccines, bad. Big pharma. Ivermectin, also controlled by big pharma companies. That's good? What?
Sick family members in the hospital of not being able to take ivermectin or any other kind of life-saving treatment or therapy. I mean, I truly think that we need to investigate all of these people and investigate the deaths that are reported on the VAERS system.
So again, all these people are crazy. I just wanted to share this. This is, I mean, I don't even know what to tell you anymore. Like, this country is bad. It's Looney Tunes. This has been a hell of a last couple of years for content in this country, let me tell you. Wear your fucking mask when you go outside, get your fucking vaccine, and shut the fuck up, motherfucker. I want to go to a concert. Personally, I would love to go to a bar. I want to get drunk in public again, right? When's the last time I've been drunk in public? It's been a long time. I'm sick of being drunk in my own home. I want to be drunk in public again. I want to go to a concert. I want to wander around outside and like wake up in a dumpster somewhere. But I can't because of this fuck shit ass pandemic, right? Now again, I could if I just wanted to die, if I wanted to kill myself maybe. Then I would, but I don't. So, it's, what are you going to do? But anyway, 14th Amendment, Section 3, she gave aid and comfort to those engaging in an insurrection against this country. She should be banned from office, and she should be ineligible to run for office ever again at any point in time. 14th Amendment, Section 3, get this fucking bitch out of here. Elementary should be a time of play and creative learning, no test prep, and busy work. In parts of Europe, kindergarten doesn't start until 6 or 7. In most states, you have the option to start your kid at 6. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I just hate everything about schooling in this country. She's trying to outdo Alex Jones in the craziness meter. She's trying, yeah, for sure. The way I see it, your childhood and exploration were robbed from you. I agree. That's why I hate school so much. I mean, like, you can make that argument just from the trans angle. Like, being trans in this country, like, you know, you basically don't get a childhood. You know, that's one angle. But also, like, you know, like, I would have, like, you know, these motherfuckers, I would be sick, right, in high school. I'll talk about this part of the story. This is why I hate Kamala Harris, by the way. For those of you that don't know why I hate Kamala Harris, you know, this is, let me give you this story.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree.
So, you know, so again, I told everyone that I had a lot of chronic health issues as a kid, and that would result in me being unable to go to school. And we would get doctor's notes, but the school would say, we don't really believe in your doctor's note. They would call the doctor would be like, yep, this is a thing, they just saw me, you know, blah, blah, blah. They're in, like, you know, once every 3 to 5 weeks, I would go to the doctor. And so they just didn't believe them. So every once in a while, they would send truancy officers to my fucking house. Like, while I am sick in bed, right? Like, there's banging on the door, and there's, like, fucking, like, you know, open up, you know, we know you're in there, come to school. Like, we had, like that would be, like, shit that they would say. They would peek through my windows, like, truancy officers, motherfucker. Because I was sick from, like, you know, like, these motherfuckers are crazy. And so this is why I hate Kamala Harris, is because Kamala Harris's answer to attendance was to send truancy officers to people's homes and arrest the parents. Because that was her big policy proposal in California. So yeah, I have a special hatred for Kamala Harris. I was behind in a class and a teacher told me there's no way to pass it, so I stopped going. Later she was like, why aren't you coming to class? We could have worked something out. Got my GED. That's not exactly, but that's very similar. Like, I was offered like a program where it's like if I did summer school and I did like summer school and then also did like a 13th grade like year, they would, you know, just do something. And I was like, no, I'd rather just get my GED. So I dropped out and got my GED at 16. Nowadays, they'd have sent cops to my house to shoot my dog. Yep, that's right. Free the titties. I agree. I was so weird, apparently. Everyone stayed away from me in school. I love that this whole stream chat is like the fucking weirdo, like, social reject autistic kids. Like, that's this whole... That's the whole stream chat right now. Like, we all had, like, very similar stories. I like that. Woo. What age you realized you were a trans person? That's a difficult question to ask. Answer, I should say. Because, like, you know, like, I get, like, it's different now. Because, like, being trans is more in the national conversation. Like, people know what being trans is more often than not. So, you know, like, you can trace back my innate understanding to, like, age 3 or 4. But it's like, when did it really click for me? Maybe when I was, like, 14, 15, right? But then, like, I was, like, in the repression, you know, then there's, like, the whole, you know, well, I'm just going to kill myself. So it's, like, not, you know, don't worry about this whole thing. So I would say, like, maybe 14 or 15. Somewhere in that age range was where it kind of clicked for me the first time. And then there was, like, the no, can't possibly be true part. I got sent to the counselor's office 3 times. that day just because I had previously worn a trench coat. That's incredible. No, Riolon, but just like the idea that solving truancy with police that's just the idea of that is offensive to my core. All right, folks, so I've got another fresh load of cringe that was delivered to me. It was delivered to me a fresh, this is like, you know, when you go to the bakery. We're going to the cringe bakery, folks. So we're getting some fresh cringe. You know when you go to the bakery and you smell the bread and you smell like the fucking, you know, all the donuts and the bread, and you know, you get that, you know, it's like, wow, this is real fresh. You know, that's what this is, except, you know, we're smelling some cringe. Like, it smells like, you know, like that dirt under your fingernails, you know, the dirt under your fingernails, and then like you kind of collect it into a pile, and then like you smell it for whatever reason. That's this. So here we have Jackson Hinkle. I love the caption here, "Shut the fuck up, bitch." That's a really, I think I agree with that personally. But let's get into this. This is Jackson Hinkle, Comrade Super Communist Jackson Hinkle. This is his opinion on voting for Republicans. Let's listen.
I voted for Republicans before, and third parties, like you said, Democrats, and I mean, this is the election where if there was ever a time I voted for more Republicans than ever before, it probably would be in this election. But yeah, I don't know.
So he's talking with Kim Ivermectin, host of something. I don't know what the fuck she does. But anyway, so now again, this is very interesting because I did not know this previously. I was like, I had been told this, but I didn't know this. Apparently, Jackson Hinkle is younger than me. Apparently, Jackson Hinkle was born in 1999, which that would mean that he was ineligible to vote for any election besides maybe the midterms in the 2020 election. So he's been only able to vote in 2 elections, yet he's voted for every party, including third parties. What? Like, what? That's weird. That's strange. That's very bizarre. Now, again, it's not like this guy, oh, I voted for Republicans back in like 2007, you know, when it was, you know, we didn't know, or, you know, like whatever. This guy is like really young. He's only voted in like 1, maybe 2 elections. And so I think he's just lying here. I think he's just lying. But the important part here, I don't care about, like, I don't care who he voted for. That's irrelevant to me. But so I think the important part here is that he says there, like I want to focus on the latter half of this statement again.
And I mean, this is the election where if there was ever a time I voted for more Republicans than ever before, it probably would be in this election.
If there was ever a time I voted for more, it would be in this election. So, you want to send those to me, not me? DM me those real quick, and I'll tack them in. So, okay. Now, again, this guy is anti-Nina Turner. He's this is like in relation to, look at this. So, Jackson Hinkle said LMAO in response to Nina Turner being in favor of Medicare for all. That elicits an LMAO from this guy. The guy who votes for Republicans. The guy who votes for fucking Republicans is LMAOing Nina Turner. Like, now again, I need you to understand, I did not know that this guy was younger than me. When I debated this guy, I legit did not know, this guy does not, I'm sorry, this guy is not aging well. Like, can we be honest with each other? Let's be honest. This guy is not aging well. Like, I don't necessarily want to make these, looks based, you can make fun of my looks. Many people do. Jackson Hinkle's fan base loves to call me a tranny, right? So feel free. But, let's be honest here. This guy is not aging well. If you would have told me this guy is younger than me, I before didn't take it seriously. This guy looks like he's, mid-30s. Let's be honest. Look at this. He looks like he's mid-30s, right? And then, let's look at his, profile picture. Also, let's be honest. What is this profile picture? Like, this guy literally looks like he's like 37 years old. I'm sorry. In this profile picture, and again, I'm just going full in it, where he's like standing in front of, he's on like a red carpet of some kind, right? And he's like at an HBO event. Like, this is supposed to be like the grassroots like freedom fighter. He's like his fucking profile picture is him at like some HBO red carpet garbage, looking like he's like fucking about to hit a midlife crisis. Like, again, I have no idea what is wrong with this guy. But again, he's talking about how he's going to vote for It's the common sense option. If you want Medicare for all, you vote for Republicans. That's what you do. Duh. Right, yeah, the social conservative clip I've seen before, not me. But here's another clip, let's see.
Tulsi, hey, for all her faults, Tulsi's way more base than the squad.
So, okay, that's good. So Tulsi is more based, whatever that means, an undefinable term, than the squad. That's really good. So again, this guy is the self-admitted social conservative. He thinks that, again, I had a whole debate with him that ultimately boils down to, do trans people deserve to have rights? And his answer was no. So again, this guy, like, you're telling me this guy is like fucking like, what, 22 years old or 23? He definitely looks like he's having a midlife crisis. But anyway, he's going to vote for Republicans, and that's going to give us Medicare for all? Like, what the fuck? Like, Nina Turner, not going to give us Medicare for all? Like, I would respect him more if he said he wasn't going to vote. If he was like, I don't really think voting is going to solve our problems, or, whatever. That's a whole different thing. Okay, here's another great clip. This is great. This is a really good one. All right, check this out.
I think the American left,
I remember this one.
liberal left, has gone too far to the left. And I think there's too many people who are afraid to admit it.
So the American left is so far left, but it's not, because Jackson Hinkle's ultra left. But the American left is too far left, and that means I'm going to vote for Republicans, because in order to go even lefter than the American left that's just too far left, you have to go into the minus world, where you go onto the left part of the screen and you come out on the right side of the screen. So it's like, so now I'm voting for Republicans because I'm a social conservative. I'm an American patriot. I am not too far left. I'm not an American leftist, though I do love America, but I'm not like the American left. But I'm a communist, but I'm not really a communist. I'm a social conservative. What is going on in this guy's brain? Can you imagine being a Jackson Hinkle fan? Like, I'm sorry, like, literally, can you imagine what the hell is, like, what, like, imagine, like, it's one thing. This guy is obviously, like, a trust fund baby. Like, his parents, like, supported his whole career. He's a trust fund baby, let's be honest. Who the fuck is going on HBO red carpets and running for city council when they're 18 years old? This guy's a fucking trust fund baby. This guy had a silver spoon in his mouth. He had everything he ever wanted to, and his dream was being a political commentator douchebag. Right? And he's going to go out there and tell people who's really leftist, who's really, you're boutique left, you're fake left, you're fraud left, you're fraud squad, right? That's what this guy's thing. But, like, that's one thing. At least this guy's a trust fund baby. He's an actor. He knows what he's doing. But imagine being the Jackson Hinkle fan. Imagine the Jackson Hinkle fan. Like, the guy that's like, I love Jackson Hinkle. Now, there's one fan of Jackson Hinkle, like the outright bigoted scumbags, like the one who come onto my stream and call me a tranny when I make videos about him or when I debated him, right? I probably got well over 100 of his fans calling me a tranny on the debate video and, like, the comments on the fucking Twitter posts and all that. So that's great. But that's one, like, those are they at least know that they're bigots. I'm talking about these, like, weird, like, the super commie, like, ultra anti-imperialist kind of fans that consider themselves, like, maxed out far left, like they're, like, playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and, like, they have got, like, the left wing, like, statistic, and they put all their fucking skate points into it. Like, that's their, like, they're super so far left it'll make your fucking head spin, bro. Like, your head will spin and then it will fall off, and then it will, like, fall off the left side of the table into, like, some, like, those guys are crazy. Like, those guys, like, I shit you not, the Jackson Hinkle fans are crazy. There's a lot of people that I somewhat respect that tell me, like, like, they're Jackson Hinkle fans, and it's like, what? What? This guy is literally a right-winger. He says trans people don't matter. He doesn't care about gay people. He doesn't care about black people. He thinks Black Lives Matter is dumb. He thinks that LGBTQ pride is dumb. He's a social conservative. He likes Tulsi Gabbard because she's a transphobe more than the squad. He votes for Republicans. What the fuck, man? You gotta play the Dave the Bronx Bull clip. All right. Oh, this one's great. Okay, I remember this one. Flashback. Flashback, folks. Flashback.
A lot of people voted for Donald Trump in 2016 because they wanted to give him a chance. So let's see how he did. For starters, he filled his administration with all the same Wall Street and Goldman Sachs lackeys that he said...
This is 2020 Jackson Hinkle. So again, Jackson Hinkle in 2022 says... that he's voted for Republicans. Now, this is another really interesting fact about this guy, is that 2 years ago, he was a vote blue no matter who Democrat. Now, again, whatever. I mean, if the other option is Donald Trump and you're voting for Joe Biden, that's fine. I voted for Joe Biden too. That's not my problem, right? But again, this guy is so, he's so deep in it. It's crazy. But let's keep watching.
He was going to drain the swamp of the same people that made up the Obama and Bush administrations. He said he was going to get us out of the wars, but he didn't even come close to doing that. And in fact, he almost launched us into a new war with Iran. He cut taxes, but really only for his wealthy, rich friends. He renegotiated NAFTA and created the USMCA trade deal in replace of it, but it continued to outsource American jobs and was essentially NAFTA 2.0 on steroids. He didn't build his wall, and he definitely didn't have Mexico pay for it. And... oh, yeah, he completely mismanaged the coronavirus pandemic, which has resulted in already over 160,000 American deaths.
Now, this is interesting as well, because now he's anti-vax. So, he started off, right, and during the, when he was a vote blue no matter who Democrat, he was like, oh, the pandemic was so bad, Donald Trump killed so many people. Now he's an anti-vax Looney Tune, anti-mandate, he doesn't wear masks, he thinks that Dr. Fauci is evil, right? Again... I don't know what to tell you. I would love to have a conversation with him about, these theories that he has. But, it's so strange that this guy... So, again, he voted for Republicans when he was a vote blue no matter who Democrat who hated Republicans. That's when he was voting for them, apparently, right? But he's also going to vote for Republicans in the future. Doesn't like gay or trans people. Thinks Black Lives Matter is dumb and a distraction. Doesn't like pride, you know? What is this guy? What is this guy? I don't understand, what is this? This is, something that was manufactured in a fucking laboratory, dude. This is, in the fucking introduction of, Aqua Teen Hunger Force, where they've got the fucking castle and the fucking Dr. Weirds making the creatures. That's, I'm, about to see, Jackson Hinkle in that fucking shit, man. This guy is crazy. This guy, there is no way that this is, a legitimate human being going through a political evolution. I'm just letting you know right now. There is something else behind it. I would love to know. I would love to have a second conversation with this guy. If Jackson Hinkle wants to debate me, I don't know why he would be scared to debate me. He's already beaten me once. In his fan fiction, in his lore, he's already destroyed me once. So if we want to have a conversation about political evolutions, I have a lot to say about having a political evolution. So I think it would be a very fruitful talk. But anyway, what the fuck was this shit, man? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. This guy, again, he's voting for Republicans. He supports Republicans. He thinks the American left is too far left. He thinks the squad is evil. And he calls himself a super leftist. It's weird. It's strange. Very strange stuff. But again, I'm more concerned with the fans. I really, this is it's like thinking Jimmy Dore is an anti-war voice of reason. It's bro, are you dumb? Do you have some sort of needs that I can maybe help out with? Because if you do, I'm volunteering to help you with any of your mental crises that you may have. But anyway, not looking so good. And apparently, apparently you are trying to tell me, right? You're trying to tell me that this guy is younger than me. Again, this guy looks like he's having a midlife fucking crisis, right? This guy literally looks like he's 48 years old, he's about to go gray any minute now. I'm just saying, you can insult my appearance if you want, feel free. But wow, this guy is not aging gracefully, let's just say. Fuck. Anyway, folks, that's my show for today. I hope that y'all enjoyed it. I'm trying to be doing longer shows here. I really enjoyed the kind of like in the middle of the show, us just chit-chatting about random stuff, like, you know, the high school discussion. I'd love to do more of that kind of stuff, just like, you know, talking about whatever. You know, I'm super into it. So, chit-chatting with the goobers. Yeah, if you do like the chit-chat, I am going to do more, like, gaming streams at some point, that are just, like, miscellaneous. So I'm going to be doing, like, more, like, live Doom gameplay, where if, like, you like to chit-chat, you can chit-chat about whatever. That's going to come back at some point. So, you know, I know a lot of people don't like video games, but, like, think of it like, instead of having this box just be empty, there's, like, moving, you know, cartoons on this side of the screen, and then this part is identical. That's pretty much my gaming streams. Outside of, like, you know, the commentary focus streams. Those are more directed, but generic, like, just kind of gaming stuff it's just free for all. If you want to ask me about fucking something that I might go on an hour-long tangent about, let's do it. Who doesn't like video games? Apparently, there's a lot of old people that watch me. Like, Jackson Hinkle is not the only motherfucker having a midlife crisis. Like, we've got a lot of oldies in the chat. Like, I love the oldies. God bless y'all. But this is like, you know how, like, there's, like, a problem, like, how, like, there's, like, you know, like, a population crisis and decline, you know, like, there's, like, birthing decline or something in, like, you know, countries like Japan and now the U.S. That's going to be my audience, right? I need to get a more younger audience, because, like, one of these days, I'm going to turn 30, and my audience is going to be, like, in nursing homes, and they're going to be fucking dead, right? Like, that's the thing. That's what I'm worried about. Like, any minute now, like, half my audience is going to fucking hit the ground screaming out of, like, natural causes, right? And then I'm going to be stuck here talking to myself. So I got to get more younger followers. I think, like, Tyler is, like, the only one who's younger than me in this whole fucking operation. You are an old soul. I don't know what that means. Like, is that because, like, you know, I have, like, a giant consortium of mental illnesses that constantly age my brain or something? Like, what does that mean? I'm an old soul. People tell me that, but they don't tell me what it means. Environmental Coffee House loves to call me an old soul, too. Like, what is that? What's an old soul? Bitch, I don't even believe in the soul. So, like, my soul that I don't even believe in is old? What does that mean? Yeah, Paladin, you gotta stick around. I need new shoes. What the hell? Bruce Thomas, more boomers should listen to you. I agree. I think more people in general should listen to me. You use the word consortium for starters. I don't even know what that means. What does consortium mean? Consortium just came out. Consortium, an association typically of business companies. Okay, so yeah, there you go. I think I used it okay. Means you're like older folks without being old. My souls are old. That's good. That's true, though. I mean, I guess that is true. Like, most of people I talk to are older than me. I'm usually the youngest person in all my social groups. I don't know. Is that weird? Like, I feel like that might be weird. Is that a bad thing? Yeah, Catherine, I thought you were 47. Bodam, that's so specific. Like, you know, 47, not 40, not in your 40s, not in your 50s, but 47. I thought you were 47. What? Why 47? Why not 46? Why not 48? Why 47? Why was 47 the number you landed on there? How old is fucking Catherine again? Like fucking 36. Okay, 36. That's not that old. I'm New Year. Welcome. I don't know if you've ever posted in the chat before today, but I noticed you were posting during the high school discussion. I heard you needed some fresh young blood. Unfortunately, I'm 38. It's all good. I love 38-year-olds. I love 36-year-olds. I love people that are in their late 30s. God bless. It's all good. But how did you find the stream? I'm curious. Whenever there's a new viewer in the stream, there's always like, the new viewer like interrogation. Like we fucking strap them down, tie you with duct tape to a fucking like wood chair in the fucking middle of like a fucking leaky basement. There's like one light that's like a light bulb dangling from a string, right? And it's like moving around, so like your eyeballs are trying to adjust to the dark and the light constantly. There's like a leaky pipe somewhere in the background, so you hear dripping, right? And then like, you're tied down, so then I fucking pick you up by the face and I'm going, how the fuck did you find my fucking stream? That's the new viewer interrogation. Oh, Environmental Coffee asked, I called you out earlier for saying that I am an old soul. Can you tell me what the fuck that means? New arrivals get strapped down now? When did we implement the kinky protocol? We implemented that when I said so. I honestly, like, a lot of people have like midlife crisis. I have an early life crisis. Right? Like, I honestly, sometimes, like, when I really start thinking about how young I am, I get scared. I'm like, so, wait a second. Like, I've got, like, another, like, 175 years of this? Like, what the fuck? I start getting freaked out. Like, I've got too many options. Well, since you canceled MR, I need something new to... Oh, there you go. That's true. Actually, despite being a politics junkie, I first ran in through Doom videos and saw this show shared around Twitter. That's actually super interesting. What Doom videos? Is it like the new ones that I've been doing? Because I've really been enjoying the Doom stuff. Old soul is really positive. You are wise beyond your ears to the point of brilliant. The point of brilliant? You think I'm fucking brilliant? I'm wiser than people my age and with different interests. That's true. That's true, man. Like, okay, so I'm a millennial, folks. Hashtag. So I'm a millennial, but like I'm like the youngest millennial, right? Like I'm right on the cutoff. Like, millennials are like fucking like I don't know, like 1980 to like 96. I was born in 96. I'm right on the cutoff, right? So whenever I talk to a Zoomer, I have no idea what's going on. So like I have a brother and he's younger than me, and sometimes like he starts talking to me about fucking TikTok and like all this shit, and I'm like, bro, what? Like, what are you on about? Like, I don't know what the younger people are doing. They're doing TikToks. They like are in their own world. Like, younger people have an attention span of like of 3 seconds. Like, like it's incredible. So I'm a millennial, right? But also, like, yes, a lot of my interests are like, things that are older than me, because like when I was young, I was poor. And so like, video games, like the older video games were, the cheaper they were. So like my interest in like movies and video games, like, were pretty much like the older they were, the cheaper they were. So that's why I have like older media interests as well. It's because you suffered sooner than most. That's also true. I fucking suffered, this motherfucker. I'm suffering. That's true though. That's true. I planned on killing myself the first time when I was 14, man. Let me tell you. Hashtag info dump. I was like plotting out my suicide when I was 14. I was done. So as far as I'm concerned, everything, right, like, from like 14, like that was like a whole like, thing, and then I tried to kill myself like 5 other times. As far as I'm concerned, this is all bonus. I'm in DLC mode. This is like an unnecessary like franchise out of like, the first movie is decent, but then they spawn like an unnecessary franchise. It's also like, it's, watch it anyway, but it's not as good as the first, but maybe eventually there's like a new director that picks up like the 5th reboot of the series and then they knock it out of the park and then it's better than the original. That's what I feel like we're in right now. Like I'm in like a DLC. We're in bonus mode. Like I'm just free flowing. I did my time. So yes, I suffered and I made it through. I'm an American leftist, not really, but I should be if I were in America. Wow, that's it. Bodan, you're back in. You're back in. You got the quote again? You're back fucking in. That's an incredible statement. That's incredible. Hold up. That's so good. That is so good. Boom. You made it. Bodan, you're back in. You're back in. Now, it was a while ago, actually, when my gaming group were talking about and looking at Doom mods. So I found your playthrough of what's that mod where you're going through a skyscraper. A fucking skyscraper. There's a couple. A skyscraper. There's a couple. That could describe a lot of levels. So, but yes, I used to have the Doom 2 world record. So I'm kind of a big deal. Now, emphasis on used to, right? Like woo! Those were the days, am I right? But going down, that might be it. But yeah, I started a new series. If you haven't seen my top 10 demos in January stream, I recommend watching that if you haven't seen it. Because I started a new series. I'm getting back into Doom again. And I've been enjoying that. So I actually think it's super cool that there's more people that have like that Venn diagram of interests. Because it's more rare than I would like. I'm the oldest here. I worked in higher education for over 20 years. I was a trainer and employed tons of students. I would have you as one of my interns and mentor you any day. Maybe Environmental Coffee House. It's possible. Whenever the plague is over, there's a whole new world of possibilities. We're having a great group conversation here today. I like it. Me too. I am wanting to end the stream soonish, but also yes. Competitive sports are cool too. Well, here's the thing with speedrunning. Now, again, it's not entirely true, but speedrunning is more democratic. And, more, like obviously, certain people can't do this, right? But, it more than sports, right? There's way more like genetics play a higher role in sports than they do in speedrunning. So speedrunning is more egalitarian. So that's why it's better than sports. My sock is falling apart and it's making me sad. I should play Going Down again. I haven't played Going Down in multiple years. Right now I've got 2 WODs that I'm playing. It's TNT Evolution. And I'm playing Doom the way it did. So I'm like trying to go through those. This came off of my sock. It's falling apart, folks. God damn. My sock has a big ass hole in it now. Oh no. It's over for me. Speaking of over, I think the show is over. So folks, yes, Alien Vendetta with the new MIDI pack. I actually am very interested in that. I know there was another WOD that had like a new MIDI pack that someone wanted me to play too. I forget. But anyway, folks, that is the goddamn 2 hours. We did it, folks. I love PlayStation graphics. Fucking same. I plan on doing a PS1 related show. At some point. I want to do it this year, a PS1 show. At some point. But anyway, I am going to get the fuck out. Thank you all for watching. I wish you would watch my other streams and my other interests and hobbies. Again, a lucid dream show. I just want to say, I've actually been working out a lucid dream show. I want to teach every single one of you bitch-ass motherfuckers how to lucid dream. This is going to be like, I'm actually going to teach y'all some life fucking skills. And so maybe but I'm gonna make it like, I want to make it like more of an interactive course and something that is evergreen. So I want it to be beneficial to watch live, but also I want it to be lasting information. So what I want to do is I want to do like a week-long course where every like day for like the whole week, maybe Sunday through Saturday or something. I'm going to do like 7 days in a row, 5 days in a row maybe, and you're going to follow all of my instructions for each of those 7 days, and then you're going to know how to lucid dream. That's going to be, I'm working on that. So that's going to be something. And then also cooking with the bitch. That's going to be hopefully aiming for the first week of March. So no, please, I get triggered into psychosis. Psychosis is good, actually. I'm a fan of psychosis. I remember when I first experienced like dream psychosis, and then when I first experienced like waking psychosis. Oh man, it's great. But anyway, folks, that's the show.
Get your words straight, Jack.
That isn't what it meant.
Well, what did it mean then? Explain.
It meant that it's indicative of low-resolution thinking.
That the most potent force in the Republican Party is President Trump. We need Trump plus.
And then they have cans of soup. And they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick, it's too heavy. With a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right? And then when they get caught, they say, no, this is soup for my family. They're so innocent. This is soup for my family. It's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground, and the anarchists take it, and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick because it's got force. It's the perfect size. It's like made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup for my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people.
Force the vote, sure, was a failure.
And by the way, you know, I sit on the stand, and it get hot. I got hairy legs, got hairy legs. So I learned about roaches. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.